So Tyler, how many days did it take you to get all your gear, like cache it up higher on or near Mount Shikara?
Not as long as you'd maybe think. It's actually probably like a 5-kilometer approach to this ridgeline where you drop into the main Shahara Glacier from Ushguli. And so we spent, I think, 3 days shuttling a couple 40 or 50-pound loads up to essentially this ridgeline and then dropped onto the glacier. We basically brought 15 days worth of food and fuel, and kindly enough, my mom basically works at the grocery store, and so she lined us out for all of our food and supplies as far as that goes.
Nice. So you didn't have 15, she packed it for you?
She pretty much, packed basically day or weekly rations for the three of us, and we had brought an extra pair of skis and basically a little bit of extra everything, because at that point, if anything broke or went wrong, that basically would end our trip. And so that's fairly important as far as a pre-plan to sort of realize that if ski breaks or anything breaks, you're tripped over unless you prepare enough to have all the correct gear and food and etc.
Yeah, I think we paid enough extra baggage fees for a whole other ticket for another person to fly over to Georgia with us. I mean, it was just insane the amount of stuff that we had to bring over there. I think everybody had at least 2 personal duffels, and I think we had 2 group duffels of food and whatnot.
We had very little idea of what a food we'd actually be able to attain there, especially as far as like keeping it light and compact and good variety and good flavor as far as what we're used to. And so it seemed like the best option just to sort of pay the price to get all of our equipment over there and eat well and be happy, which I think is a huge part of any expedition, is being comfortable, because more than half your time spent sitting in the snow waiting for it to get better and to actually be doing something on your actually climbing or skiing.
Exactly. That's sometimes an overlooked aspect of high-altitude mountaineering and ski mountaineering is just good nutrition along the way. It's nice that your mom chipped in. So she's like the 4th expedition member. JT, tell us a little bit about the route that you guys planned on climbing up and skiing down.
Yes, we found a picture on Google, from Google Images, that just showed a beautiful 5,500-foot couloir that came down off of Mount Shahara. So that was what we referred to during our planning and our project as Plan A. That was kind of the prize going in there. And then we're also able to find another slightly smaller 4,000-foot couloir off to the looker's left of the Plan A couloir. And so similar aspects, so we kind of treated that as one of the warm-up couloirs, just to get a feel, a little bit less commitment level. And so we treated that as looking at that, going into it just as a warm-up. And then there were several other ski lines that we skied as well, kind of in the 2,000 to 3,000 foot range, just steep faces, but just lots and lots of potential there for really cool ski objectives. And that's one of the main reasons why we want to go back there to ski some more projects there that we have in mind, as well as visit the friends that we made along the way over in Georgia.
So Tyler, tell us, on your guys' website, it's svanetiproject.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's, for you guys listening out there, that's SVANETI project.com. JT put up a lot of amazing photos and descriptions. You guys need to go check it out. Tyler, there's a picture of you skiing down. You have a pair of ice tools, or at least one in your hand. Along with your ski pole, you have a ski pole whippet in the other hand, and then you have an ice tool on your belt. Tell us what's going on in that photo.
What's going on? That's the crux of the couloir, which is basically kind of separates the upper third from the lower 2/3 of the couloir itself, and there it's about 60 degrees in blue ice, and basically the result of a ski coming off, or you falling, or having an air without the ability to stop yourself via self-arrest is rather unlikely. Why both? I don't know. The whippet didn't necessarily fulfill my level of security as far as the firmness and the steepness and basically the consequences of the slope. So I figured having a real piolet in my hand would keep me a little safer in the long run.
So, I mean, there are obviously, no zero fall, no fall type situations where you just can't afford to take a slip.
Right, and I think as far as like there in the couloir, or right in the crux, you probably could slip and maybe stop yourself below, but I think it's more the terrain above resulting in a slip and going through the crux without stopping yourself or being, having fallen. There'd be no hope, basically. So you're kind of drawing that line between, like, I have this, and I'm going to do it right, but at the same time sort of leaving yourself that little margin of what you perceive is your safety. And I think perception is 9/10 of the sport, as well as just the mental aspects of mountaineering. You're only capable of what your mind will let you be capable of.
For the listeners out there, JT and Tyler, maybe there's someone listening and saying, I want to go out and do what Seth, JT, and Tyler did. I want to go climb and ski down a peak that hasn't been climbed or skied. What are some things that you've done in your life that have helped you get to this point so you could take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, I think for me, it would be, just getting out in your backyard. There's, no matter where you live, there's always lots of stuff to do. I know here in Bozeman, I treat the Bozeman area, southwest Montana, as my training ground. There's lots of steep mountains to ski around, and you definitely have to work up to something like that. I definitely put in lots of time just ski touring around, and then mountaineering and climbing as well, ice waterfall climbing and glacial travel, and then you progress and you continue to move up, and then you kind of put all three mediums together: the skiing, route finding, avalanche assessment, ice climbing, and glacial travel. You take everything together and you combine it with the sport of ski mountaineering. But it always goes back to just using your home turf as your training ground to constantly challenge yourself and push yourself, and then you can look elsewhere and go challenge yourself elsewhere in the world. And I think that's the cool part about skiing and climbing, is that it's a great excuse to go travel around the world and experience other cultures while you're pursuing some of these cool passions that you have.
Exactly. It's almost like climbing and skiing is kind of the icing on the cake. Get a lot more out of just being immersed in a different culture. Tyler, what about you, man? What helped you get to this point?
What helped me get to this point? I would say doing a lot of this stuff, and I think as far as ski mountaineering specifically goes, kind of starts with for myself. I started skiing as a real young little kid, as a toddler, basically, and just kind of not biting off more than you can chew, I guess, kind of too fast, but sort of getting the ski skills, and then becoming a climber, and then becoming a guide, and then at least for myself, and then just trying to be achieving at the highest level that way. And I think more than anything is staying mentally strong, and being sort of okay with suffering a little bit to some extent, and being willing to be a little cold and be a little tired, I think goes a long way as far as actually achieving your goal in the mountains. Because often, we talk big and it's great in the living room and staring at photos or whatever, but certainly mentally preparing, I think, is one of the key contributors to successful expeditions, and that's something that I'm continuing to learn and will forever be learning, and is a big aspect that intrigues me in climbing.
Would you guys go back there?
Yes. Yeah, we can't wait to get back there.
Would we, or will we? We will, for sure. I definitely will go back there.
So while that's out in the future, what are your plans for this winter?
My plans for the rest of the winter are actually, Jason and I have similar plans in some regards. I'm planning on being around my parents for the holidays, and then headed down to Ouray, Colorado, to meet up with the boys down there and Jason, and do some ice climbing and go to the Ouray ice competition, and then from there probably some more skiing and maybe a little work on Mount Rainier, and a little more climbing, and hopefully Jason and I might end up over in Chamonix at some point. And other than that, I'm sure something will come up.
JT, if folks wanted to learn more about what you guys did over in Georgia, where should they go?
The SvanetiProject.com.
Awesome. And that's SVANETI project.com. And you can also check out Jason's more of his photography at jthompsonphotography.com. JT and Tyler, thanks so much for playing. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
That was Jason Thompson and Tyler Jones, two senior guides from RMI Expeditions. Find out more about their Svaneti project at SvanetiProject.com. That wraps up the podcast, and we here at RMI Expeditions thank you for listening. Be sure to stay involved with RMI Expeditions at rmiguides.com and through our Facebook fan page. Just type in RMI Expeditions for exclusive content, climb tutorial videos, and chances to win free gear and RMI swag every week. Just type in RMI Expeditions on Facebook and become a fan. It's free. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next month.